What is going on, friends? Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis. Here we have Isaiah Hoelscher. He is a new grip and rip throws programming athlete, just signed up for the summer, the off season, which is great. You love to see it. The off season is where you make big gains in technique, so that way you go back to all your, indoor, outdoor meets next year, and all your competitors are like, "Yo, what happened to this guy? You worked hard over the off season. You got some advice. You got some technical input, some programming from your boy over on gripandrip.co, and you're going to dominate the competition next year. All right. So, like I said, head on over to gripandrip.co, my coaching website, and sign up for whatever you might need: a technical analysis, some throws programming, coaching, lifting programming, whatever you need. I do it all. All right. So go check it out. All right. So let's get into it. Like I said, Isaiah is relatively new to throwing. First year throwing hammer through 50 meters, which is pretty solid. He's a tall dude, 6'4", and former baseball player. You can just tell by the style of the hat and the shades. But yeah, Isaiah is two-turning, and I think there's a lot of potential in this throw. Like I can see 60 meters in this throw right now. It's decent. You sent a few different throws, and they're all kind of similar. With two turns, it's really hard to throw the hammer. It's more of it's really more just gripping and ripping, right? And as much as I love that phrase, it's more of a metaphor rather than not to be taken literally. So let's break it down. But either way, I think the big thing for you this offseason, Isaiah, is to learn how to do 3 turns, and then 2 is to learn some rhythm and to learn how to feel the hammer, which I know is very general, but those are the 2 big things. And then otherwise, let's just start breaking it down. All right. So in the winds, number 1, this left foot, just noticed it. In the wind, keep it on the ground. Put it on the ground, keep it on the ground. All right. This kind of moving around. It might not feel like anything noticeable, but it is a little bit of instability. So like if this foot is moving in the wind, kind of changing where you're putting it, your body's like, yo, where are we going with this? All right. You want to be stable. Keep that left foot on the ground exactly where it is. So like if you want to start it with it there, keep it there. Don't start it with off to the left or to the right or whatever it is. Just keep that bad boy on the ground. All right. And otherwise in the winds, the big thing I think we need to work on is you helping you find length. You're tall. You're 6'4". You got probably pretty long levers, so you got to be able to use them. All right, which means longer levers. Your path, the path of your ball is going to be longer, which means the throw is going to look slower. A 7-foot tall guy throwing 80 meters, it's going to look like he's moving slower than a 6-foot tall guy throwing 80 meters. All right, so keep that in mind when you watch throwers, myself, other people, other elite guys. You do not need to move as fast as they are moving. Also, you're not throwing those distances either, so there's no need to rush it. Like the faster you wind, the faster you turn, all that stuff doesn't really matter. It's about throwing to your level. So if you're a 15-meter thrower, if even if you want to be a 55-meter thrower, you still need to throw like a 50 or 55-meter thrower rather than an 80-meter thrower. So slower winds, find the rhythm, find the tension. All right. You're going to want to create big circles with the hands. You want to reach out far in front of you, far out to the left, far out to the right, far behind you. Feel the ball all the way around you, all 360 degrees of tension. You must observe all of the tension around you at all times, all right? So that's kind of, and this is an odd angle. I think we've already discussed this. You got a phone stand coming in. That'll be very useful because this is a very weird, odd angle, and you look like a giant from this little ant perspective. But either way, you step up, and then it's just, like I said, a matter of finding stability and being able to relax and hold that stability. Whereas younger athletes, they tend to move around a lot. You can see getting kind of out of the frame and stuff, but you're shifting back. The line looks pretty decent. And then also, I think if you can throw hammer with a hat facing forwards, I think that is a sign that your winds could be better. Where like if you're really reaching behind you, or because you want to kind of comb the hair, you want your hand to kind of at least your right arm to kind of like comb your hair over the top of your head, and kind of that bicep comes in front of the face. And it should, whenever I wear a hammer or whenever I wear a hat when I'm throwing hammer, if I have it facing forward, my arm hits my hat. So turn your hat backwards and get a little bit more of that extension of the right arm behind the head. And that'll help stability, help you find tension. And it should be good. Because otherwise, I think you're kind of dipping out of the way and shortening the radius a little bit. But either way, you're coming through on entry. So like I said, in conclusion, big winds. Okay, turn your head backwards and have big winds. Find the stability. Otherwise, on entry, I feel like you're just going too fast. I think, and this is just a symptom of doing 2 turns. All right, you got to get it going right from the start. So I want you to change that when you think about doing 3 turns. Okay, I want you to just enter the ball. I don't want you to push the ball in. I don't want you to like force it in. I don't want you to think about throwing 100%. I want you to think about starting to throw at like, let's say maybe like 60%, maybe 70%. Especially like during the off season, now's the time to take easy throws and really learn technique, do a lot of drills and stuff like that, which is what I'm going to have you do in your program. All right, so start easy, start slow, find the rhythm, find the connection, because you can see you kind of like really tighten up and force the ball in. Like this position isn't bad. It's a very odd camera angle. Your left shoulder's down, which is good, but there's just a lot of tension through the arms and the shoulders. You can see tension in the arms, a little bent elbows, shoulders up a little bit, head is down. Try not to let those hands kind of rise up above the head. You gotta get your hips up into it. You're working with it pretty well. You're turning with it pretty well. But then hands just look a little bit high. There's not quite a lot of direction in the throw. It's just very rotational because you are just kind of, it looks like you're pushing the ball around the left. And then you see your right leg is kind of behind you, butt kicking a little bit. You want to think about leading with this knee a little bit more. This knee should be kind of up here in this area, kind of like an A skip, high knee. All right, into the next turn, come up over this calf instead of, you can see there's a lot of rotation here. Your body's just turning. There's no direction. You gotta step forwards. You talked about falling backwards a lot, and this is kind of part of it. You're just kind of rotating. There's no direction front to back. So this is stuff that, like I said, with certain drills, I can help you work on over the next few months. Okay, so step forwards, knee up towards the sector. Catch. Because you're rotational, you're going to catch a little bit late. You catch just about 270, which is fine. It's just not the most ideal, especially with the 2-turn. When you catch like this left side, there's not much separation between the upper and lower bodies. There's not much tension. And without much tension, there's not much stability. So you're going to pull this left side, and you can see the tension, especially as double support goes on. You can see tension in the lats. You can see tension in the arms. You can see this weird kind of tension in this right shoulder, oddly enough. Head kind of tilted to your right. Otherwise, and then you can see here, you want to kind of get some more space between the armpits. You know, relax those armpits. Let the hands stretch out, arms stretch out, and then double support is okay. That's nothing terrible. Hips are kind of up, but then you see same thing. Instead of staying back on this right and kind of pushing through this left heel, those hips are gonna come spinning around this left side. And then you can see, so right here, same sort of thing. Butt kicking, knees kind of low. Need more of that high knee skip into the next turn. You want to think about kind of, you could even lead with the instep. Think about bringing the instep right around this calf and then putting it down, turning those hips, getting a little bit of separation. Then you can see here, because there's tension in the upper body, you're kind of rising up a little bit and spinning out, like I said. And you can see this left side is up. And you catch, and you can start to see some disconnection between the hips and the shoulders. Going into here, and you catch, and it's a little bit late, and like I said, not much separation. Hips are kind of facing the ball, almost back in the, hips and shoulders kind of facing the same sort of thing. You just catch late. Like I said, catching at 270, there's not much tension on that catch. All right, so when you catch, you go from no tension to tension. Your body's going to do some weird things to keep up with it. So if you can get a little bit more separation, catch the ball more in the direction of the sector, you can feel some of that tension and stability, and then it's just more of a matter of patience. All right, so you catch, hips are turning a little bit. Left side is up. You can see the tightness, especially as you come through on the finish. Left shoulder's up. You can see this right side down, tilting to the right, but your hips are trying to get up into it, and your right foot kind of stops turning, which isn't a huge thing, but your hips are working up, out into the throw, kind of like side body sort of thing. Left side pulls off. That's the side of, once again, the tension left side. And then, as you see, you fall to the right side camera view, what would have been the left side if you were in double support, which is a sign that you have too much weight over that left side. Like I said, you have the tendency to spin out through each turn. So, gotta stay back on the right a little bit more. So there's a lot in this video. All right. So I know I just word vomited for 9 minutes essentially. All right. So, I just wanted to give you an idea of what I want you to work on. These are all very, very minute details. Like I said, the biggest thing we need to work on is just relaxing, finding tension, and finding maybe some direction in there. But we're just working on the basics, all right? So don't focus on all this stuff at once. I'm going to text you. I'm going to write you your program. And just follow the cues that I tell you day to day, all right? And I'm sure you're going to make huge progress because there's, like I said, there's a lot of potential in this throw. So, all right. Thanks for watching, bud. I'm stoked to help you out. If anybody else out there needs any coaching of any kind, in-depth technical analysis, one-off, if you need consistent technical feedback, if you need a throws programming or some lifting programming or whatever it is, hit your boy up, gripandrip.co, all right? So, until next time, thank you for watching. Sean Don, signing off.